Hare Krishna, Namaste, Chapter 17, which is entitled as Shraddha-traya Vibhava Yoga, the three types of faith. Sloka 10. Yāta-yāmaṁ gata-rasaṁ pūti paryuṣitaṁ ca yat ucchiṣṭam api cāmedhyaṁ bhojanaṁ tāmasa-priyam. In Sloka 8, Krishna spoke about ahara that's liked by sattvika persons, and in the 9th sloka, ahara that liked by rajasic person. Now here, in the 10th sloka, it is about those who are in mode of ignorance like certain kinds of food. And that's been explained over here. The difference between the previous 2 sloka and this one is in the 8th sloka, Krishna said, those food which is consumed by people who are in sattvic mood gives longevity, clear knowledge, strength, health, happiness, and engage them in pleasant acts. Those are the result of consuming food which are considered to be sattvic. And in the 9th sloka, Krishna mentioned the result of eating such food which is rajasic will produce gas, bile, heat in the body, pain, makes one indulge in acts which produces grief, and also it produces sickness. But in this sloka, when Krishna is explaining about tamasic, he has not mentioned the outcome of consuming such food. 2 ways we can understand this. 1, it is so bad that Krishna doesn't even want to mention that. Number 2, it can be derived from the previous sloka. In the previous sloka, it produces a mixed experience of grief, sickness, pain to some degree. Whereas in tamoguna, it produces the same in higher degree, extreme sickness, extreme grief, extreme pain when compared to the rajoguna. Now let's understand the meaning of the sloka. Yat bhojanaṁ, which food, yāta-yāmaṁ, food that has been cooked more than 3 hours earlier, gata-rasaṁ, tasteless, pūti, putrid, bad smelling, paryuṣitaṁ cha, when the item changed and became decomposed, that is stale and has undergone some change in its taste, that is paryuṣitaṁ. Api ucchiṣṭam, leftover food by someone, cāmedhyaṁ, untouchable, unfit, tāmasa-priyam. All these kinds of foods are loved by the people in the mode of darkness. Translation: food prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten, food that is tasteless, decomposed, and putrid, and food consisting of remnants and untouchable things is dear to those in the mode of darkness. We should know and fully convince that purpose of eating is to have good health, so one can perform their duty without any hindrance. Many in past and even now selects food very carefully. They do not eat anything and everything that can go into the mouth. Milk products, sugar, rice, wheat, fruits, and recommended vegetables are all very dear to those in the mode of goodness. And fatty food that we saw in the 8th sloka has no connection with animal fat obtained by slaughtering the animals. Animal fat is available in the form of milk, which is considered to be most wonderful of all foods. Those food which are liked by people who are in mode of ignorance or darkness are essentially not fresh ones. When the ingredients that are used for cooking food are natural in its state, then that is good. But it is preserved by some means, then it is bad for health. Any food cooked more than 3 hours before it is eaten is considered to be in the mode of darkness. Only exception is prasadam. But again, that doesn't mean one cook in huge quantity and store it and eat whenever it is needed. That is not good either. Because if those food are kept as it is, it get decomposed. Food should be natural. It should not be having any preservatives. Yāta-yāmaṁ, gata-rasaṁ, pūti, paryuṣitaṁ, ucchiṣṭam, cāmedhyaṁ. Now let's understand what they mean. Yāta-yāmaṁ, food cooked 3 hours before being eaten. Such food should be avoided because it may get spoiled after 3 hours. That's the general idea. But what it means is that usually we have seen that food does not get spoiled so soon. So we can consider what it means that as long as the food doesn't get spoiled, we can consume that food. Well, immediately we have techniques to take care of food not getting spoiled. We have this great equipment called refrigerator, which can preserve the cooked food for many days. Sometimes people cook for a week on a weekend and label them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like that. Freeze it so it can stay longer. But the point here is it should be not spoiled when it's kept in its natural state, not through this means of freezing it. When it's eaten after cooking, it has nutrition in it. If we eat after some time or after few days, it loses its nutrition. But again, there are exceptions. There are certain items, food items, which not necessarily get disqualified because it's past 3 hours. For example, snacks, traditional snacks. One can consume those items even the next day. There's no issue with that. And the other exception is prasadam. Say someone from Tirumala, Tirupati brings a laddu prasadam. By the time that person purchase that laddu, by the time we get in our hand, it could be quite few days. So should I honor this or should I not? Because Krishna says yāta-yāmaṁ. One should not have any doubt when it comes to prasadam. One should simply honor it. There's a beautiful story in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is a great literature that speaks about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life, his pastimes. One time, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu received Mahaprasadam from the priest of Jagannath Mandir. Mahaprabhu immediately took that prasadam and arrived at the Bhattacharya's house a little before sunrise, when Bhattacharya was arising from bed, chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna's holy name. When Bhattacharya noticed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu outside, he immediately rushed to him, offered his prayers unto Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, and then gave a nice place for Mahaprabhu to sit. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu opened the prasadam and placed it in the hands of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. At that time, Bhattacharya had not even washed his mouth, nor had finished his morning duties. Nonetheless, he was very pleased to receive the prasadam of Lord Jagannath. He immediately chanted a couple of verses and then honored the prasadam without any reservation. The two slokas that he quoted are from Padma Purana. The first one says, Sukam paryuṣitaṁ vāpi nītam vā dūradeshatah prāpti mātrena bhoktavyam nātra kāla vicārana. One should eat the Mahaprasadam of the Lord immediately upon receiving it, even though it is dried up, stale, or brought from a distant country. One should consider neither time nor place. The second sloka, Na desha niyamam tatra, na kala niyamam tata, praptam annam drutam srishtair, bhoktavyam harir abravit. The prasadam of Lord Krishna is to be eaten by gentlemen as soon as it is received. There should be no hesitation. There are no regulative principles concerning time and place. This is the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we can learn that how one should honor the prasadam. Prasadam is meant to purify us. Hearing this story, some of us may think we are in much better position or we are greater than Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya because he only ate the prasadam one day without taking shower. But that's what I do almost every day. So what is so special about Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya? Well, that is not the idea of sharing the story. The intent is to understand the glory of prasadam and how great devotees such as Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya perceived prasadam. It is not to say that we can eat without taking shower. Gata-rasaṁ, that which has lost its natural taste, even if it doesn't lose its taste after longer time, still one should not consume such food. What about water? Because water never loses its taste. Water which is taken yesterday cannot be used for cooking today. Only exception to water is the holy waters. What about milk? In truth, the same applies to milk as well. Milk has to be fresh, taken from the cow. But the problem is, we don't see the cow first of all, so where to get the milk? We have come a long way away from our tradition and culture, and we think what we are doing now is normal. So when we hear such things, it sounds weird, impractical, unacceptable. The idea of sharing all these things is to know how far are we from the tradition and at least try our best to be as close as we could to the culture and tradition as mentioned in the scriptures. And the rest we have to do as per time, place and circumstances with the guidance of Guru Sadhu Shastra. Paryuṣitaṁ, any eatable things that we keep for a long time, it loses its natural taste as we already discussed, and the taste become different. Interestingly, some people like such taste. In fact, some people keep the remaining food overnight and eat it the next day, as they say it gives more flavor, more taste than the previous day. But Krishna says, well, it may, but it is in mode of ignorance. So what we have seen so far are yāta-yāmaṁ, food that has been cooked for more than 3 hours. Gata-rasaṁ, tasteless. Pūti, bad smelling. Paryuṣitaṁ, when it becomes decomposed, changes its natural state. It tastes different. When some cooked grains or vegetables are stale, they dry out and become hard, gata-rasaṁ, and they start ferment, paryuṣitaṁ, and give off an unpleasant smell, pūti. This not only includes food, solid foods, it also includes liquid items, drinks like alcohol, which is fermented beverage, even the distilled ones, any type of liquor it may be. When these are consumed, it brings dullness to our consciousness, increases ignorance, laziness, sleep, confusion, and madness. We have heard and seen that such people cause violence, destructive behaviors, and whatnot. We have a lot more to discuss on this topic. We will continue in our next session. Namaste. Hare Krishna.